you have ABC, and here you have ABC squared. So these are unlike terms. They cannot be added. So the final answer will be just rewrite the same thing again. Number 14, ABC squared. ABC squared. So these powers and those powers are exactly the same. ABC squared, therefore they are like terms, and you can, now very interesting thing, you can say you can add them, or you can say you can subtract them. But the truth is you're adding them. So you got 5 minus 7, so it's integers. You have 5, you owe 7, so you'll end up owing 2, and you'll write down ABC squared one time. Or if a person like, he could have said 5 minus 7, and that's minus 2. Now number 15 is an interesting example, because you can't add all up together because they're unlike terms. But if you look from here to here, they are like terms. From here to here, they are like terms, so I can add those up. So this a squared is really 1. Remember, it's understood. And this here, it's minus, but it's really minus 1. Now it's always helpful to write those numbers down like that. Now these are all like terms from here to here. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. Then 3 minus 1 is 2. So you got 2a squared plus that 3 there. So I'll repeat that. These are all like terms, so I can add them up. 1 plus 5, 6. 6 minus 3 gives you 3. 3 minus 1 gives you 2. 2a squared plus 3. Now when you reach this stage, these are unlike terms and they cannot be added. Therefore, this will be the final answer. Sometimes when we draw a line like this and put an arrowhead there, we are saying that this is the final answer. So that brings us to the end of this exercise 5a, where we have been adding or subtracting, or in some cases we just had to write the same expression down because they were unlike terms. So when they were like terms, you can add. If they're like terms, you can subtract. If they're unlike terms, you cannot add or subtract. Alright, so we stop there now. Alright, now what we're going to do is, you've got to do a few more examples because practice makes perfect. So now we're going to give you some examples where there's more than 2 terms and you have to add or subtract. If you take example A, you got A plus B plus C. So you realize that these are unlike terms, therefore the answer will still be just A plus B plus C because they are unlike terms. You can't add them up. If you look at example 2, you got A plus 3 plus 3A minus 4. Now you can see that there is A and 3A which are like terms. And then you got 3 and minus 4, the numbers itself, which are also like terms. So to make life easy, what we do, we group the like terms. In other words, we write the like terms together. So there's A and there's 3A. So we write them together. So you see here, we've written A plus 3A together. Then we've written 3 and minus 4 together. And then we can now get the final answer. We have grouped them, right? So, group them if possible and add them if possible. So, if we look at this example here, we grouped them already. And now we want to add, so we go one more step. Now A plus 3A gives us 4A. And then 3 minus 4, remember your integers, you have 3, you owe 1, therefore you'll end up owing 1. So, to do this example here, we first wrote the like terms together and then we added them and wrote the final answer down. Alright, let's look at another example. Alright, so if you look at this example, you got a squared plus 5a minus 3 plus 2a squared minus 7a minus 1. So, you group your like terms. You got an a squared here and you got a 2a squared there. So you write them together, a squared plus 2a squared. You write it with the sign plus 2a squared. So we brought the a squareds next to one another. Then we got a term in a. You got plus 5a and you got minus 7a. Now remember, the sign must go with it. So you got plus 5a minus 7a. So I wrote plus 5a here and I wrote minus 7a here. And remember, the signs came with them like that. Okay, then what's left? I'm left with minus 3 here. I've written it there. And I'm left with minus 1 here. I've written it there. So what we're doing is we're putting all the like terms together next to one another so that we can add them up easily. Now we can add them up very easily. Now the a squared plus 2a squared will give us 1 plus 2, 3a squared. Now 5a minus 7a. Remember, this is integers. So 5 minus 7, you have 5, you owe 7. You'll end up owing to a. Then minus 3 minus 1, you're owing 3, you're owing 1, you'll end up owing 4. So there's your final answer, 3a squared minus 2a minus 4. So the next exercise you get to do, you will have to group the like terms together. In other words, write the like terms next to one another and then add. Alright. So let's explain the examples to you and then you can try them. Alright, so here's an exercise for you to do now. You must write the like terms next to one another and then add. Number 1, 2.1, a plus b plus d. 2.2, a plus b plus a. 2.3, a plus 5 plus a minus 3. 2.4, a squared plus 3a plus a plus 5a squared. 2.5, a plus b plus c plus b. 2.6, m squared plus n squared minus 3 minus 4 plus m squared plus n squared. 2.7, m squared minus 2mn plus 2n minus 4m squared plus 2mn minus 7n. 2.8, m squared minus 2m plus 3n minus 5m squared minus 2m plus 3. Alright, now don't cheat. Switch off the DVD, try these examples, and then after that I will supply you the answers and you'll mark your work and tell me that you got all right. Here are the answers for on removal of brackets. You must know your basics. You must know your basics. So let's put the basics down here. So you must know your basics. Firstly, you must know minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. In other words, you must know a negative times a positive is a negative. You must know, for example, minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. You must know a negative times a negative gives you positive. Then you must know that 5 times a, the answer is just 5a. Right? Then you must know that a times a, well, the index is 1, the index is 1, therefore this answer is a squared. And then to finish it, if I had 3a times a, or let's make it 2a. If I had 3a times 2a, then 3 2's, 6a times a squared. So now you'll see that these are all basics. We have finished cover all this, and now it's going to be used in removal of brackets. Alright, so if I just do one more example, suppose I asked you to remove the bracket. Suppose I gave you this example, 5 into x minus 3. Then you're going to tell me, well, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. You don't have to show me the steps, you can even do it mentally. Then if you do another example, a times a minus 5. Well, you'll say, well, a times a is a squared, a times minus 5 is minus 5a. You can do it like this without showing me the steps. But if you are having a problem, then you must do it like this. If you're having a problem, then you rather do it like this, where you make the marks like that and make the marks like that and write it down step by step. See, and now you can see x times x is x squared and 3 times x is 3x. So the choice is yours. You can write it like that, or you can show this movements here, write the step down there and get the final answer over here. The choice is yours, okay? Right, now we can move to the exercise. Okay, exercise 12. Remove the brackets in the following examples. Number 1, 5 open bracket x plus y close bracket. Number 2, minus 5 open bracket a minus b close bracket. Number 3, minus 2 open bracket x minus 4 close bracket. Number 4, y open bracket y minus 3 close bracket. Number 5, minus into x minus 2, or the same question can be read like this, minus open bracket x minus 2. Now you must understand that the minus in front of the bracket really means minus 1, because the 1 is understood. Number 6, minus m into m plus 2. Number 7, minus y into y minus 3. Number 8, minus 2 into 2 minus x. Number 9, a into 3 minus a. And number 10, oops, we got a little mistake there. Let me put you a number there, just in front of x. And we need more practice in this one, so we will say it is minus here. Alright, so it's minus into x minus 2. Alright, so switch off the DVD and work out exercise 12 on your own, and then wait for me to provide the answers on the board. Now don't cheat, switch it off, try it on your own. Okay, so in number 1 you had 5 into x plus y. So this one I'm going to do it step by step, so you're supposed to do that and that. So it means 5 times x plus 5 times y. Well, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times y is 5y, and now these are unlike terms, so they cannot be added, so you leave them like that. Number 2, minus 5 into A minus B. So it will be minus 5 times A minus 5 times minus B. Minus 5 times A is minus 5A. Minus 5 times minus B. Now watch. Minus times minus will give you plus. 5 times B, 5B. Number 3. Minus 2 into x minus 4. Alright, let's try to do this one without the steps. Minus 2 times x will give you minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 4. Minus times minus gives you plus. 2 times 4 gives you 8. Number 4. Y into y minus 3. So this will be y times y and y plus y. You see, there's a plus that's understood in front of this y. It's not necessary to write it here, but it is necessary to write it here. Plus y times minus 3. Now y times y, these are powers. And the index is 1 and the index is 1. So this is y squared. Now plus times minus is minus. 3 times y is 3y. Number 5. Minus into x minus 2. Now firstly, you've got to understand that this minus, there's a 1 understood. So I'm rewriting the question. There's minus here. It really means minus 1. So I'll rewrite that. And then it's clear to me that I'm multiplying minus 1 times x and minus 1 times minus 2. Now minus 1 times x, you see this is understood to be plus. Minus times plus is minus. 1 times x, 1x. Minus times minus plus. 1 times 2, 2. Now if you forgot your signs and so on, if you don't know what's minus times minus, you have to go back and practice on them. Alright, so let's move on to number 6. Number 6, minus m into m plus 2. So minus times that. So this will be minus m times m minus m times plus 2. So you see up till here, minus times a plus is minus. This is m1, m1. There's the m, 1 plus 1, 2. Now minus times plus is minus. M times 2 is 2m. Number 7. Minus y into y minus 3. Well, it'll be that times that, y. So it's minus y times y minus y times minus 3. So up to here, minus times plus. See, the plus is understood, you see. Minus times plus is minus. Y times y, write down y. The index is 1, the index is 1. Add the indices up, you get 2. Now minus times minus is plus. 3 times y is 3y. Number 8. Minus into 2 minus x. Now once again, that means minus 1 into. It will be written like this, but you got to write the 1 down. It is understood. Minus 1 times 2 will give you minus 2. Minus 1 times minus x. Minus times minus will give you plus. 1 times x will give you x. So you see in this example, I didn't show you all the steps. I just decided to do it in a short way. Minus 1 times 2, minus 2. Or minus times plus is minus. 1 times 2 is 2. Then minus times minus is plus. 1 times x is x. Number 9, a into 3 minus a. Alright, so this will be a times 3 plus a. Now you see this is, I can't just write a like that. I'll be wondering what is it now. So it is a times minus a. Well, really speaking, this is plus a because a plus is understood. So a times 3, 3a, plus times minus is minus, a times a. There's a 1 there, there's a 1 there, there's your a. 1 plus 1, 2. So you can see that you have to know your integer rules and you have to know your power rules if you want to remove brackets. If you don't know your integer rules and don't know your power rules and don't know about like and unlike terms, you will get lost. So that's why you've got to go back. If you are a little lost, go back and see which section you're not understanding. Read or view that section again. Now, this is again minus 1 into x minus 2. This can be done mentally now. Minus times plus is minus. 1 times x is x or 1x, you see. Minus times minus is plus. 1 times 2 is 2. Now this answer can be written like that, or it can be even written without the x, without the 1. You can write it like that, or you can write it like this, because the 1 is now understood here. Alright, so that was an exercise on removal of brackets, and as you can see now, you got to know your power rules on your fingertips. You have to know your integer rules. Plus times plus is plus, plus times minus is minus, minus times minus is plus. You got to know all this on your fingertips, and you got to be fast with it. So if you're finding a little lost over here, that means either you don't know power rules or you don't know your integer rules. Alright, so if you're a little lost, then you go back, view the section again and build up your strength. Alright, so that brings us to the end of answers to exercise 12. OBS, and I'm here to do some basics of maths with you. And today I'm going to cover a small section called BODMAS, B-O-D-M-A-S, or some people call it BOM-DAS. Well, whichever way you like it, we're going to cover it. Alright, let's start. Try this little quiz with your friends. Ask them, what is half of 2 plus 2? If you ask this question, some people will tell you half of 2 plus 2 is 3. And some people will tell you half of 2 plus 2 is 4. Well, the people who say half of 2 plus 2 is 3 are right. And these people are wrong. So let's find out why. Alright, so BODMAS. What does BODMAS stand for? Well, let's put it down here. B-O-D-M-A-S. B stands for brackets. O for off. D for division. M for multiplication. A for addition. And S for subtraction. So that's what BODMAS stands for. Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So what this rule says is that if you're given an example, you must do that example by following this order. Now let's take an example. Half of 2 plus 2. When you apply the rule of BODMAS here, you are looking for brackets. There are no brackets here, so you forget about it. Then you're looking for off. There is an off here, half of 2. So you have to work out half of 2 first, which is 1, and then add the 2, and that is why the answer 3 is the correct answer, because you have to apply the rule of BODMAS. Alright, let's look at another example. If we look at example 2, it says 5 plus 3 divided by 4. So if you apply the rule of BODMAS to that example, you're looking for brackets, and there you are, you have the brackets. So you got to do the brackets first, which is 5 plus 3, which is 8, then divided by 4, and the final answer is 2. So in every example, you got to go through the steps and see which one of these is there, and then apply them. But you must go step by step. Let's take another example. So when you look at this example, 10 minus 8 divided by 4 plus 2, you are looking for brackets, there's no bracket in it. Then you're looking for off, there's no off in it. Then you're looking for division, well, there is a division in it, and therefore we'll have to do the division first. So write the 10 down here again. There's your subtraction sign. 8 divided by 4 will give you 2, and then you write down the plus 2 there. So you're doing the division first. And now you can add this. Now when you are adding like this, there's also a very important addition to the rule of BODMAS, and it can be very, very helpful. And that addition is that if you're adding and subtracting, then go from left to right. Now this is a very nice and powerful little rule, and it helps to solve a lot of problems for you. So if I am adding and subtracting here together, so when you're adding and subtracting, go from left to right. So if I go from left to right, 10 minus 2 is 8, and then 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 minus 2 gives me 8, and then the 8 plus the 2 gives me my final answer, 10. Alright, so we're going to have a look at a few more examples and apply the rule of BODMAS to them. This example here, 5 plus half of 6. So if you look at this example, you're going to apply the rule of BODMAS. Any brackets? No. Any off? Yes. So you got half of 6. So you got to do that first. So there's the 5, you're just writing it down again. There's the plus sign, you're just writing it down again. Half of 6 is 3. So I'm doing the off first. And that finally gives me 5 plus 3, 8. Now let's look at an example where we're going to do 2 steps at a time. Now if you look at number 5 and you look at the rule of BODMAS, you have half of 8 and you have 12 divided by 2. So you're going to apply the rule of BODMAS 2 times. First you'll apply it to half of 8. Half of 8 gives you 4. Plus, and there's your 12 divided by 2. Now you look at this again and you go back to the rule of BODMAS. Now there's no brackets, there's no off, but there is a division. So we'll have to do the division first. So there's the 4, just writing the 4 down, there's your plus. 12 divided by 2 gives you 6. And finally, 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Alright, now let's have a look at number 6. In number 6, we got 3 steps to do. So according to the rule of BODMAS, we're looking for a bracket. Yes, there is a bracket. So we're going to do the bracket first. 5 plus 3 gives us 8. So we have done the bracket, and then we left with divided by 2 plus 3 times 4. Now you have a look at it again and follow the rule of BODMAS. You've got a division, so you have to do the division first. 8 divided by 2 will give you 4 plus. And then when you look here, you got multiplication, and the multiplication must be done before the addition. So I have to multiply first. 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 plus 12 gives me the final answer 16. So in some examples you'll have to apply the rule of BODMAS only once. In some examples you'll have to apply it twice. In some examples you'll have to apply it thrice. I will be doing an example just now where we'll try and apply every step of this. Now remember, in examples it will not always come in exactly the same order. We'll do an example to demonstrate to you. Alright, so we look at number 7, 20 minus 5 times 8 divided by 4. Then we apply the rule of BODMAS. There is brackets there, but what I am saying is the bracket is not written right in the front. It's right at the end of the question. Therefore you have to read the whole question once. You may have to read it twice and then apply the rule of BODMAS. So we have to do this part here first. So this will be 20 minus 5 times 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. Then you come back to the rule of BODMAS and you look at it again. You cannot subtract here now because the rule of BODMAS applies. So when you look here, you got a multiplication. So you have to do the multiplication first. So you got 20 minus 5 times 2, 10, which gives you final answer of 10. Now somebody may say, well, this is 20 and this part is minus 5 times 2. Well, they're also right. If they say this is minus 5 times 2, then minus 5 times 2 will give you minus 10. So 20 minus 10 will still give you the final answer 10. Alright, I think you should have an idea now of what is called the rule of BODMAS, and we're going to go through an exercise now and look at a large number of examples and explain those examples to you, and then you can try the exercise on your own. Alright, let's go to the exercise. So if you look at number 1, it's half of 2 plus 4. So you have to find half of 2 first, which will be 1. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Now let me jump to another example. If I look at number 7, then you got 5 plus 6 times 2 plus 9 times minus 2. Now you'll have to know your integers also if you're doing this section. If you don't know integers, then just take that as plus 2. But if you have done integers, remember this minus 2 is an integer. So if any primary school child is looking at this exercise, then they must only do number 1 till 6 and stop. But if you're in high school, you must be able to do any example. Right. So I'm going to assume you're in high school. You already did grade 7 and already did integers. So let's see. 5 plus 6 times 2 plus 9 times minus 2. According to the rule of BODMAS, we have to do the bracket first. So 9 times minus 2 will give you minus 18. So let me do this one example just to show you how it's done. So you got 5 plus 6 times 2. This is number 7. Plus 9 times minus 2. Okay, so according to the rule of BODMAS, you have to do the brackets first. 9 times minus 2 will give you minus 18. There's your plus sign here. Now come back to the beginning. There's the 5. Now, there's the plus. Now you can see I've done the brackets and now I've got a multiplication. So I can now do this multiplication. multiplication, which is my second step. 6 times 2 will give you 12. Now, over here, you got 5 plus 12 plus minus 18. So, remember the rule, working from left to right. So, 5 plus 12, 17 plus minus 18. Now, remember your rules of integers. You have 17, you owe 18. So, you'll end up owing 1. So, the final answer is minus 1. So, if you're learning the rule of BODMAS, you've got to make sure that you know all the rules of integers already before you can try and complete these examples. Alright, so now we're going to go through the exercise. I'm just going to read them to you so that you know exactly what is on the exercise. Alright, so here is the exercise on BODMAS. Number 1, half of 2 plus 4. Number 2, 3/4 of 12 minus 8. Number 3, 2 plus 20 divided by 2. Number 4, 8 minus 3 times 2. Number 5, 4 divided by open bracket 10 minus 2 close bracket. Number 6, 10 minus 3 times 2. And number 7, 5 plus 6 times 2 plus 9 times minus 2. Number 8, 8 divided by 4 minus 2 times 5. Number 9, 10 divided by 2 plus 9 divided by minus 3. Number 10, 12 minus 8 plus 5 times 2. Number 11, open bracket half plus 3/4 close bracket of 12 divided by 3 times 2 plus 5 minus 2. Number 12, in brackets 1 minus half of 20 divided by 2 times 10 plus 20 minus 2. Number 13, 11 minus open bracket 5 minus 1 close bracket plus half of 6 minus 10 divided by 5 minus 11. Right, number 14, 11 minus 3/4 of 24 divided open bracket 5 plus 1 close bracket times minus 2 minus 15. Number 15, 5 minus 10 times minus 3 minus 5 plus 20 divided by minus 2. Number 16, 17 minus 5 times minus 3 plus 1/4 of 4 minus 18. Number 17, minus 11 minus 5 open bracket 8 minus 10 close bracket minus half of 40. Now remember, in number 17, 5 open bracket 8 minus 10 means do this bracket first and then multiply that answer by 5, or if you want you can multiply the answer by minus 5. Number 18, open bracket, half plus quarter, close bracket, of 4/5 divided by 2/5 multiplied by 4/5, 4/5 minus 1/10. Number 19, 3 minus half of 4/7 plus 5/7 times 14/35. And finally number 20, 3/5 times minus half plus half of 3/4 minus 1/8 divided by 5/8. Now go ahead and try these examples. Remember, you got to apply the rule of BODMAS, switch off the DVD, complete the exercise, and thereafter you can switch on the DVD again and see how the answers are worked out. Right, now don't cheat. Here are the answers to the exercise on BODMAS. Number 1, half of 2 plus 4. So half of 2 is 1. Then you add the 4. Final answer 5. Number 2, 3/4 of 12 minus 8. Now, 3/4 of 12. Of means multiply. So this is really 3/4 times 12/1 minus 8. Now, 3 12s, 36, over 4 1s, 4. 36/4 is 9. 9 minus 8, final answer is 1. Remember to do your work step by step and to always check your work. So if I have to check this, 3/4 of means multiply, yes. 12 can be rewritten as 12/1. Now I must do the of first, so I'm multiplying here first. So 3 times 12, 36. 4 times 1, 4. Minus the 8. 36 divided by 4 gives me 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. So that's your final answer. Number 3. 2 plus 20 divided by 2. So I have to do this part first. According to the rule of BODMAS. No brackets, no of, but there is a division. And never mind if it's written in the back there, I still have to do it first. So there's the 2 and there's the plus. I'm just rewriting those. 20 divided by 2 gives me 10. 2 plus 10 gives me 12. Number 4. 4 divided by 10 minus 2. Apply the rule of BODMAS. So there is a bracket. I must do the bracket first. Then there is a division. I'll do the division next. So I'm just going to rewrite 4 and divide it here first, like that. But I'm going to do the bracket first. So 10 minus 8, 10 minus 2 is 8. Now be careful. This is 4 divided by 8. So the 4 is on the top, divided by 8. Now 4 divided by 8, you know that 4 divides into 4 one time, 4 divides into 8 two times. Now some of these examples are done in this way so that you can revise a little bit of fractions and you can revise a little bit of integers. Number 5. Number 5, 4 divided by, am I redoing this example? Yes, I missed out an example. I missed out number 4. So sorry, this was number 5 and this is number 4. So I missed out number 4. So I'll do number 4 now. 8 minus 3 times 2. So if you're doing this example according to rule of BODMAS, no brackets, no off, no division, but there is multiplication. So you'll start with that. 3 times 2 is 6. There's your 8 and there's your minus. There's the 8, there's the minus. 3 times 2 is 6. 8 minus 6 will give you 2. Or somebody else who knows integers will tell you, well, this is 8 and that is minus 3 times 2, which gives you minus 6. Fine, you can think like that. 8 minus 6 still gives you 2. So you have a choice on how to do this example. Alright, let's move on to number 6. Number 6. 10 minus 3 times 2. So you have to remember the rule of BODMAS all the time. So there's no brackets, no off, no division, but there is a multiplication. So there's my 10. I'll write the 10 down again. Minus 3 times 2, 6. 10 minus 6 gives me 4. Number 7. I had done this example for you earlier, but we shall do it again. 5 plus 6 times 2 plus 9 times minus 2. So according to the rule of BODMAS, there is a bracket here, so we're going to do the bracket first. So there's your 5 plus 6 times 2 plus, I'm doing the bracket first. 9 times minus 2 is minus 18. Then I look at it again and apply the rule of BODMAS again. There's no off, there is no division, but there is a multiplication. So I'm going to do the multiplication now. So there's your 5 plus 6 times 2, 12 plus minus 18. Now when we come to this step here, we remember the other rule that when you're adding or subtracting, go left to right. So we're going left to right. 5 plus 12, 17 plus minus 18. Now when you come to this stage, you have to recall your integer rules. Because you got 17, you're owing 18. So you'll end up owing, and the difference is 1. So it's minus 1. So in some examples, you'll have to recall integer rules, and in some examples, you'll have to recall fractions. Alright, let's move with number 8. Number 8, 8 divided by 4 minus 2 times 5. So I apply the rule of BODMAS. No brackets, no off, but there is a division. So I'll do the division first. 8 divided by 4, 2. Then I apply the rule of BODMAS again. And when I look at it again, I see there is a multiplication. So I'm now going to apply multiplication. So there's the minus sign from there. It's just written here. And 2 times 5 gives me 10. Now watch. 2 minus 10. This is integers. Recall your integer rules. You got 2, you're owing 10. Therefore, you'll end up owing 8. Number